Welcome, friends, to yet another short episode on great musicians and artists. Today's presentation is entitled Beethoven's Best Wine. It is about Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, fifth movement, commonly called Ode to Joy. It is based on a story I wrote for Logos of St. Andrews many years back. We read of our Lord's first miracle in Cana of Galilee, at which he saved the best wine for last at a marriage feast. Reading from the Gospel of St. John, chapter 2, beginning at the first verse, and I'll read. And the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus saith unto him, They have no wine. And Jesus saith unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. His mother saith unto the servants, Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece, which would be about 5 to 6 gallons in our measure. Jesus saith unto them, Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. And he saith unto them, Draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bare it. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servants which drew the water knew, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom, and saith unto him, Every man at the beginning doth set forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine until now, until last. And sometimes the Lord does that for us in our lives as well, and I believe he has done it for Beethoven, as we shall see throughout our study here. The great composer, Ludwig von Beethoven, is possibly the greatest musical composer of all time. Yet he met with many hardships and misfortunes in his lifetime that would devastate many men of lesser mettle. He was greatly misunderstood by many who considered him arrogant or eccentric. But there was a reason for his strange responses to others in public. Beethoven, you see, was born with a hearing impediment that grew more and more serious with passing years. In fact, Beethoven lost all sense of hearing for a period of 10 years before writing his best work. The period between 1814 and 1824 were years of professional famine for Beethoven, having lost the one gift that makes the joy of music so ebullient, his hearing. The man of joyful music also lost many of his friends as his financial fortunes turned to a serious plunge. 10 years passed between his last symphony, the 8th, and his memorable Ninth Symphony in D minor. Imagine the despair of Beethoven as he attempted to write this masterpiece from imagined sound since he was deaf. The Ninth Symphony finally was completed and premiered in 1824, not long before its conductor's death. The resident conductor invited Beethoven to conduct his new work that night at the premiere in Vienna. Beethoven stood apprehensively as he conducted the last movement. At the concluding notes of the final movement, Ode to Joy, the composer stood in forsaken silence, certain that his masterpiece had failed. He could not hear the thunderous standing ovation of the audience behind him. Suddenly, the resident conductor, recognizing Beethoven's bewilderment, gently turned the musical genius around so he could witness the joyful response of the crowd. What overpowering joy must have entered his heart as he saw the awe-inspiring response. God had saved the best wine in Beethoven's life for last, and he gleefully took his bow. Just as Christ provided the best wine for the last at the marriage of Cana of Galilee, so God frequently saves the best wine for last in the lives of those whom he loves. Maybe he is saving your best wine for last. In the Ninth Symphony, the deep emotion and great passion of the master composer is fully brought to light. It seems that he poured his heart and soul in among the notes of this great work. The Ninth Symphony is the last one written by Beethoven, but it stands out as the shining sun among all other such works and has endured the centuries and will doubtless remain forever, as long as the sun rises and sets, as the crowning achievement in musical beauty, harmony, and simple grandeur. The beauty of sound, technical merit, and popular appeal of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony remains today as one of the world's greatest masterpieces and sets a high standard for any aspiring composer whose hopes and ambitions are to achieve the heights. Whatever work God has called you to, remember that even old age may not prevent your being blessed with your best wine at the last. God bless you all, and thank you for listening to this story.